I bought a IBM Model M13. It has a track point. So basically I wanted a track point keyboard for two reasons. One, so I'm kind of used to the track point from the ThinkPad keyboard, and it's kind of nice because you don't actually have to move your hand out of the way to use the touchpad, or in this case the mouse. So that's one nice thing. Also, the nice thing about it is even though how big this is, it still saves on desk space, and you don't have to awkwardly grab a mouse when your desk is filled with clutter. So another thing though is, if you're wondering, imagining 90s track point plus desktop setup might have some questions about whether the track point is actually usable. So I have a 4K 43-inch TV as my main desktop monitor. So even with a monitor that big, the track point was still adequate with the settings turned all the way up. But another thing though, if you are wondering, this does have a PS2 mouse slot at the back, so you can actually set it up with a PS2 mouse and not have to use a USB port. But if you're considering buying a track point keyboard for the desktop, your probably first thought is going to be IBM UltraNav, which is just the ThinkPad keyboard with a USB coming out of it. So about that though, I didn't buy one because they're kind of generally $40 to $50, and I'm sure there's a lot of ThinkPads you can buy for that price. So I decided to pay out actually a little bit more and go with the M13. So since I don't really have a frame of reference to do a keyboard review, at least a mechanical one, I thought I would just do words per minute and test a few of the other keyboards I've owned. So I guess if we're starting on chronological order, this is a Dell L100. So I actually had to read the model number from the back if you're wondering. This is the keyboard I'm probably used for the most in my life, because the school district where I grew up at used these Dell keyboards, and they also frequently threw away these Dell keyboards. So I would find them at the recycling center and use them at home. So I've actually never paid for one of these. Since I'm very familiar with the layout, I ended up getting 71 words per minute, which is actually pretty good. It's around what I get for the ThinkPad. So about this keyboard, its key feel is a little bit better than the Wise keyboard, which I also tested, but it tends to slide around a lot when you type quickly on it because it's not very weighted. But overall, I mean, it was definitely worth the price of $0, so I'll give that a plus. I guess to the Wise keyboard, the keys feel a little bit mushier than the Dell, and it actually got 64 words per minute, which was quite a bit slower, and this wasn't a one-time test. This is after trying to get my words per minute up on this. I kind of, I paid $2 for it, and it wasn't necessarily $2 better than the Dell keyboard, but it does have a PS2 mouse slot on it, which is kind of cool, and it is a little bit more sturdy, I guess, than the Dell keyboard. Anyways, the last keyboard I reviewed was my other mechanical keyboard, which is this Cherry G84 4100. So this Cherry is actually has an okay key feel. It's not as snappy as the Model M, or clicky, I guess, and the travel is quite reduced, but I wanted something similar to the X60 keyboard, so I actually asked, I think, ITTFami, which has like a YouTube channel about it, and he said to get a Cherry G84 4100, but it is like an X60 keyboard, except it feels slightly smaller, which is a little bit too small for me, and it has a problem which I don't like a lot. The tilde key is here, instead of where it should be. So since it's on the bottom and not like here, you have to think, oh, where's the tilde key every time you type tilde. There's also the problem of the backspace key being pretty much the same size as the rest of the keys, which doesn't sound like much of an issue, but whenever you make a mistake when you're typing, it's kind of bad because you have to search for the backspace key if you're used to more conventional keyboard layouts. So I guess last thing I tested was the ThinkPad keyboard. It's an X200, but it's pretty similar to the rest of the ThinkPad keyboards until you get up to like the 20 generation. And on that one I got like 72 words per minute, which, well, if you're wondering, I guess I'll show the clip of the IBM Model M typing. I got 77 words per minute on it, and it feels actually quite nice. So, yeah, I guess though that's my keyboard review. I don't really have a whole lot to say because I can't compare these to a bunch of other mechanical keyboards I've owned, because I've only owned one other one. Overall though, all the keyboards I showed in this video are actually pretty usable, and I would say I wouldn't mind using them, except maybe the tilde key placement on the G84-4100. So I guess that was a short video, and hopefully you have a good week. Bye.